Hey guys. We are seated at a very exciting moment in time. So I wanted to come on and speak briefly about it, as well as tell you about a time when we will go much more in depth to current and upcoming energies. That will be during my webinar that I launched today. That's going to be held on Sunday, January 7th at 6:30 p.m. And this webinar is going to be going into the details of the first 6 months of 2024, Year of the Dragon. And I had somebody who was signing up today say, I'm so excited to hear about the soundtrack of 2024. And I thought that was so brilliant, because that is exactly how I think about it and how the webinar is going to be presented. I really want to go into just the subtle nuances of how the energetic shifts that are occurring are going to set up a very, very unique landscape that is so much different than prior years. In many ways, thank God. I think we're all ready for a shift in energy. So we're going to be going over the major outer planet alignments and transits, such as the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction happening in April, which is insane. We've got Chiron at the North Node to go more into eclipses, of course. And then I'm also going to go through the important inner planet, smaller transits month by month, and set students up with a calendar, which they'll receive as an attachment, so you guys can print it out and put it on your wall or your fridge or whatever. So you have sort of a linear calendar of how to work with the energies. I'll also go over some themes for new moons and full moons that I feel are potent. So if you're interested in joining us, we're doing signups now. You can reach out to me at coyotestarastrology@gmail.com and try to put the subject line dragon in all caps, just so I can find it in my other emails. All right. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for being here with me. Like I said in the beginning, we are seated at a very interesting, very unique moment right now, which is why I'm here talking at you. And that is because Jupiter just went direct in the last couple of hours. That alone is very exciting, and I will tell you why. But in this moment right now, the moon is at 26 degrees Leo, which is trining Mars at 26 degrees Sagittarius. And if you watched my last live, we talked about how the galactic center is at 27 degrees Sagittarius. So Mars is at the galactic center, stimulating that point right now, while the current moon transiting is trining that point as well. And both are trining the North Node at 21 degrees Aries. All this to say, we have this beautiful fire trine in the sky in this moment. And I had to jump in here and share that energy with you, because the galactic center is so special, so magical. For review, those that don't know, the galactic center is between 26 and 27 degrees Sagittarius, and it is the degree that is at the center point of the Milky Way galaxy, otherwise known as the galactic center. And this very eccentric, enigmatic, and enchanting point in the zodiac ushers in otherworldly energies from outside of the galaxy, potentially other dimensions. It, to me, I felt it today, actually. It was really interesting. I was with my friend and we were hiking, and I didn't know where the moon was, actually. I didn't check this morning. And we were hiking, and I was like, to be honest, I felt altered. I felt like I was on mushrooms or something. And I asked her, because she had made me an elixir earlier, and I was like, was there anything in that? Did you accidentally dose me? She was like, no. And so I whipped out my phone a minute later, and sure enough, there was a stimulation of the galactic center with Mars and the moon. And that's always really fun. And that's something I would love to teach and help people embrace, is the ability to feel before you know, to feel Pluto, to feel the essence of Neptune, to feel these energies and have the chart really just confirm. And this is so in all of our abilities, because we are so connected to the planets there within us. So that was really fun to feel that energy today. And you may have felt it. There has been a big shift this afternoon in energy. I felt it as sort of like a not really knowing if I was dreaming, or, there was like almost like a feeling of more synchronicity in the air. And so then also we had Jupiter stationed direct just in the last couple of hours. So let's talk about that, because that's a big energy. That one won't be in the webinar as much because it's already happened. We'll talk about it, but I want to talk about it with you here as we're kind of basking in the afterglow, if you will, of that station, and we will be basking in it for a little while. So Jupiter direct is so beautiful, always, really, because Jupiter is a benefic planet. So in astrology, we have benefic and malefics. Malefics are kind of the mean guys, the mean characters that no matter how positively they're placed, they always have kind of an edge to them where they're a little bit challenging. And then we have our benefics, which are the polarity to that. So they're the good guys. And it's kind of like, no matter how poorly they're placed, they're always kind of more or less a good time, sometimes too much of a good time if they're poorly placed. So Jupiter is one of our good guys. And to have Jupiter back online is such a relief, because that kind of levels the playing field of the horoscope to where, like, at least we got one of our good guys, and he's making good aspects right now. So that's helpful as well. And spoiler alert, kind of will be for a little while, which is just like the first thing about 2024. Again, we'll go way more into this in the webinar, but we have some good aspects to Jupiter fucking finally, So and then we put Jupiter in Taurus, which is an earth sign ruled by Venus, another benefic. And here's a fun fact in the skies right now. Jupiter and Venus are in mutual reception at the moment. So mutual reception is when they're in each other's signs. So Jupiter is in Taurus, which is ruled by Venus. Venus is in Sagittarius as of just a few days ago. And Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. So there's this little connection that the two are having right now, and they're supporting one another with a little bit of strength. So we actually have a lot of Sagittarius in the chart in this moment in time. We have Mars, we have Mercury, which is annoyingly retrograde, but that will figure itself out soon. And then we have Venus. And so we have 3 planets in Sagittarius, and then Jupiter just went direct, the ruler of Sag. So that sends this pulse of Sag energy into the fields in this moment in time. And Sagittarius is naturally buoyant, optimistic, gives us the wisdom to face our challenges, gives us the panoramic kind of knowledge and excitement for new horizons and excitement to go seek something new, right? So having Jupiter go direct while we have all this Sagittarius is extra potent. And Jupiter in Taurus we talked about this way last year when Jupiter first went into Taurus and made that beautiful conjunction to the North Node. Jupiter in Taurus to me is like prime manifestation assistance, right? Because Taurus is a builder. Taurus is an earth sign that is concerned with security in the material world. So on the basic level, this is about survival and our survival needs. But if we turn it like a dial, that would be maybe like low frequency, like base root chakra primal needs is like, what do I need to survive, right? But then if we turn that dial to the high frequency, we're looking at how do I make my life luxurious? How do I fill my life with beautiful things, Venus, that I value, Venus, that create an aesthetic environment that reflects the waking dream that I want to be co-creating in and experiencing. So Jupiter in Taurus is prime time to manifest all things in the material world. So money, currency, right? Opportunities that lead to stability, and literally, like I said, aesthetically creating a life of beauty and abundance. And I know that those words get thrown around a lot in spiritual circles, abundance and manifestation. And I think it's important that we don't water those words down and also become so focused on manifesting abundance and manifesting wealth that like we lose sight of other things. So that's always a caveat. And in my quantum creating course, we talk a lot about that, about manifesting ethically. But that being said, Taurus ruled by Venus in astrology, Venus connects to self-love and creating a life of beauty where you are taken care of is one of the greatest acts of self-love that we can take and have. Knowing that we're worth beautiful things, is that the most important thing in the world? No. But are we worth it? Yes. And plain and simple, I mean, I'm an Aries rising, North Node Aries. Freedom is like one of my core values, and I want people to be free. And there is a semi-unfortunate truth to this whole earth experience thing, and that is that money equals freedom. It just fucking does. It does. Like, if you want to be able to rest more, take care of yourself, have the experiences that you want to have, join your friends when they go out to dinner, you have to have the material resources to do that, or you end up feeling confined, constricted, imprisoned, or at least a lot of people do. And you feel that in the energy. You know, it's like, I want to do that, but I can't. There is this feeling of being held back, right? So financial freedom equals, or financial security equals freedom to have the experience that we want. So now that Jupiter is direct, it's time to hit the ground running, because Jupiter will be in Taurus from now until May. So we have this window in time that he's going to enter fucking Gemini, and that's a whole other thing that we will talk about in the webinar and in the future. But for now, we're in Jupiter Taurus energies. And there's lots of support right now to get those things off of the ground. Last few months, Jupiter was retrograde. So retrogrades are like, you know, it's not that things stop, but it's like there's not as much opportunity. I experience retrogrades with those bigger outer planets as like the ideas are coming in and the visions are coming in, but they're not really moving forward. So that is shifting now. And let's talk a little bit about Year of the Dragon and why I am so excited. Somebody's telling me that I'm frozen. Am I frozen? Or is that their internet? Sometimes I think I'm going to keep going. 2024 Year of the Dragon. So yes, in Chinese astrology, it is Year of the Dragon. And you guys know that I love dragons. So you know I'm going to fucking just like really go into the dragon thing this year. And to me, dragon energy, I mean, there's so many things we could talk about, what we could say about that. There is obviously an inherent wisdom that comes along with the dragon. The dragon is not even really of this world, right? So that's why, one of the many reasons why I love dragon energy, because it's mythic, right? And there's something malleable about that, where it's like the normal rules don't apply. We're a little bit outside of Saturn's rule, the rays of Saturn, where we're stuck in this 3D where there is rules, you know, but outside of that, into more mythic dragon energies, it's like, this is when we get into miracles and magic, right? And there's something that's very undeniably regal about dragons. They are royal, right? You know, in the dynasties and the temples, we have them all over the robes and the temples, right? And these meditative spaces where you go to be closer to spirit, you'll often see a lot of dragons there as well. And so I love that about dragons, that they remind me of royalty, and the channeling of dragon energy encourages you to be a more regal version of yourself. And to me, a dragon person, or a person that is embodying dragon energy, is somebody who has gained mastery over themselves. A lot of that comes into simply how we carry our energy, which has a lot to do with self-respect, right? And yes, boundaries. But I put this in my stories earlier because it's something I've been thinking about a lot lately, where when we reach a certain level of mastery, there isn't even as much of a need for boundary setting anymore. And boundary setting gets talked about a lot, where it's like, you know, we gotta have boundaries and speak our truth and all this stuff. But like, honestly, I find in the spiritual community, whatever, this is way overdone. Where I find people are like over explaining their needs to me, where, you know, I'll be like, hey, do you want to hang out on Friday? And the person will be like, you know, I'm feeling into my body, and what I'm feeling for myself is that I really need to honor myself. And I'm sitting there going, dude, like 100%. I mean, like, whatever you got to do, just let me know if you want to hang, you know what I mean? And it's like, my point is, I think that is a really important step of the process, though. And that came from a lot of us feeling like we needed to people please, right? So then we kind of like oscillate in the other direction, where it's like, we're like over explaining ourselves. And now my hope is we'll kind of like come into a place where we need to explain ourselves less, because it's kind of just like vibrationally, it's obvious what we allow and what we don't allow. And to me, that is big dragon energy of like having the magnetic field. And this only comes from authenticity and action. You can't fake that shit. You know what I mean? Like, your magnetic field doesn't lie. So that gets into discipline and practice and self-honor. And these are all dragon things, you know, where it's like you ever notice that like some people, other people just don't fuck with. And then other people do, where it's like, you know, it's an energetic thing. And I take note of that. And I actually, I take a lot of personal responsibility for that. When I feel like I'm being, you know, occasionally used as a doormat or whatever, I'm always like, okay, well, what the fuck am I doing that's letting that person think that they can do that? Because there must be fucking something. Because like, if you're upholding your energy and your self-respect in a certain way, people aren't going to try. They're just not going to fucking try. You know what I mean? Getting off on a little bit of a tangent though, about dragons, of course. But anyways, You're the Dragon to me feels like stepping into that level of self-mastery, creating a life of beauty that matches our sense of self-worth. Then there's also this thing about this upcoming year, 2024. There is an undeniable otherworldly quality to the year ahead of us. And that is, like we talked about, the essence of the dragon as well. And there's big main character energy. There really is. I love that saying. I think it's fucking great. And it really does apply for this year, in the sense that there's parts of this upcoming year that kind of feel like an action movie. Like, there's some real surprises. April is going to be a very fucking interesting month. That's all I can say. And then we have the North Node in Aries conjunct Chiron. So this is a year that is about you. I cannot stress that enough. I'm going to be honest, like, not a year that's really focused on relationships. Well, it is, in the sense that we're going to be doing a lot of reorganization around how we approach relationships. But this year is about prioritizing yourself, reeling in your energetic cords from too many people that may drain you, saying more no to other people and yes to yourself, being real discerning, and stepping into a whole new level of self-identity. I can't stress that enough either. That's a big part of this Aries energy as well. And yeah, Pluto in Aquarius. I mean, there's just shit. There's so much, you guys. So I think that's just about it. This is a quicker one. I just wanted to share this Jupiter moment with you guys. And I did I leave it? Okay, one second. I did want to read the Sabian symbol. One sec. All right. I wanted to read the Sabian symbol for 26 Sagittarius, Galactic Center. So, for anybody that doesn't know, Sabian symbols are little channeled messages, imagery for each degree of the zodiac. I like this one. It's by Elias Lonsdale. There's a few different ones. This one's called Inside Degrees. Where is it? Is this not in order? So confused. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, so let's see what Elias has for 26 degrees Sagittarius. Hey, Laura. Maybe she'll want to jump in. I saw a few people that just got on that didn't want me to stop. I just kind of said what I needed to say, but okay. Oh, book again. Inside Degrees by Elias Lonsdale. Okay, this is his channeled little imagery for the Galactic Center. The image is climbing the steps of the Pyramid of the Sun. And here's the little message. Classical Maya civilization reenacted in fresh forms, always having the greater sun beating down, always aware of the vast picture. You tap a sensibility that is profound and extraordinary, the greater gods and the human scene juxtaposed mightily. In tune with progressive evolutionary currents, you work very hard to reinstate the sacred upon the next spiral. Tuned in to what is really happening here. An expanded space for dreaming, remembering, conceiving, visualizing, and creating. Absolutely knowing that the galactic forces are integral to every breath and moving forward true galactic citizenship with a passion. And moving toward true galactic citizenship with a passion. Wow. That's cool. I liked always having the greater sun beating down. I really like that. You want to come in, Blacklight Astrology, or what? Want to have a chat? Galen. Right? All right, Laura, let's do it. Boom. There she is.
Hey.
Hi, love.
How's it going?
It's going. I'm feeling it. But I'm a Sagittarius, so I also, Jupiter kind of rules my ass in a way.
Do you have any Taurus placements? I don't remember if you do. I don't think you do.
Taurus?
Yeah.
No, I wish. I barely have any Earth. I have Neptune and Capricorn. Great. I mean, I love it. I love my Neptune, but Neptune and Earth is like, is it even really
Right.
doing anything? Like, it's like, cool. That's my grounding. That's my big grounding in my life is Neptune and Capricorn. I have nothing in Earth houses. I'm pretty much all water and fire.
Your moon
but most
in the 6th house?
Sorry?
Is your moon in the 6th house? Is that
right? Okay, yeah. I guess I got my moon in the 6th, but my moon is a pain in the ass because it's squared Neptune. It's in Libra, which connects to my Venus. Yeah, it's in conjunct Mars. Yeah, my moon is actually kind of a fucking nightmare, but we love my moon.
I love your moon.
We're mastering.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why don't you share how you're feeling this energy right now?
I don't even know if I know what to say about it. I'm with the tail end of Mercury retrograde. You can feel like the lightning, I feel like the resolution for Mercury retrograde is coming a little bit early for us as a treat because the ruler of this Mercury retrograde has just gone direct. And I've been feeling that for the last few days, especially as Jupiter has been at a standstill. And I think it's going to be like 2 weeks, maybe even a little bit more than that, that Jupiter will be at 5 degrees, like just sitting there. And that's interacting with some stuff in my own personal chart in really strong ways. So that's always fun. But I am mostly just so excited for Jupiter and Uranus to be coming closer together again, because that's an aspect that's like, I feel like that's the reason I wanted to come to Earth, was because that happens in this solar system, and that is the most badass aspect. Of course, I'm a little biased because I was born under that aspect, so I love it. But
you were.
I was. Did you know actually Jesus Christ was apparently born under that aspect, conjunct his sun in the 2nd house.
That's not a surprise.
In Pisces.
That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Isn't that kind of cool?
Jesus
I love that.
Christ himself.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
In the 2nd house of core values, so I love of Taurus, right? So core values, which is where I have it too. So I'm a big fan. So I'm pretty stoked on that, and I feel the kind of reconnection, well, obviously, this reconnection to the earth, right? Jupiter and Taurus bringing back a joy of being earthlings on this beautiful planet and just like luxuriating in the beauty of nature. And as it approaches Uranus, and I've been feeling this since the moment Jupiter entered Taurus, there's this revitalization, this like, oh, right, we're on this planet and we can enjoy it, especially I think after everything that has happened the last few years.
Yeah.
I felt like for a couple of years they were all really cut off with all that heavy Aquarian energy and Saturn beating us all up. And now that Pluto has cleared the squaring to the nodes and Jupiter's on his way to hang out with Uranus, it feels like a very subtle, supple, sensual, quiet, physical party.
Yeah.
Very much in your cells and your tissues. I love it.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm glad that you brought up the Mercury station because I actually forgot to talk about it. And that is definitely worth noting, you know. So just so everybody's aware, Mercury is going to station direct. It's on, is it the first?
Yes.
Let me double check that. Yes. Okay, yeah. I don't know why. I was saying the second for the last month. Great. Sorry guys. Yeah, so it's the first. So yeah, we have Jupiter direct today, the 30th, and then we've got New Year's for the Gregorian year tomorrow, and then nicely Mercury. I mean, how lovely. You know, Mercury direct on the first of the new Gregorian year. Like you can't, you know, it's just I feel like there's a nice flow right now, you know, and I think since being an astrologer, this chart that we're looking at for the next few months is the most cohesive shit I've seen. I'm like, nobody's fighting, like everybody's fucking getting along. I can't even fucking believe it. And like, yeah, like there's some stuff that starts later on. Jupiter squares Saturn will definitely be interesting.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it. We will cross that bridge when we come to it. For now, like, especially in the next few months when Jupiter gets his ass moving and we got the nice sextile to Saturn, like, I'm telling you guys, like, take advantage of these next few months with your goals specifically.
Especially like the 4th of January through the, I can't remember the final date, but it's Mars trining Jupiter. Mars in Capricorn trining Jupiter. With like, I mean, how much better could that get?
Yeah.
With the launch of it, Jupiter ruling Mars in Sagittarius and then launching it into its exaltation. Like it's the universe is giving us some presents here after everything we've been through.
Absolutely. And I think another thing worth noting is we have this really beautiful, I'm glad you mentioned the Mars aspect, but so we've got Capricorn trining with the forward moving Taurus energy, but then we have the sextiles to Saturn, and Saturn is in Pisces. So despite the fact that on the surface, this is all like beautiful earth sextiles and trines, which is about earthly matters. This is the Pentacles suit, right? So this is like money and structural aspects of life and goals. But the fact that Saturn is in Pisces links it to Neptune, which brings in the dream, bringing the dream to the physical, which was like the whole reason that I did that quantum creating thing when I did, because it was like, this is where the dream world in the quantum realities actually is brought into our reality where we can touch it, feel it, and experience it. So that's what the next few months are about. That's what the cosmos are working together to help you do. Mm-hmm. And, you know, if you want to, just email me, do the quantum course. Laura's in it. We're all over in a WhatsApp group. It's so fun. We're all sharing our synchronistic experiences, and when one of us manifests something, we share about it. It's so much fun. I actually kind of want to do another round like myself.
Please do.
Yeah, like just cuz, you know. So yeah, anyways, Mercury direct, there is still one more square to Neptune. How did you experience this last week with that Neptune square, Laura? What came up for you? Story time. What came up for you?
Oh God. Okay, a little preface for this. Neptune, I'm going through my Neptune square transit, and Neptune square Neptune. So this is something we all go through like right around 40 years old, give or take. And it also happens to be tomorrow. Neptune is squaring my nodes to the exact minute for the last time, which is a time when you generally go through like, it kind of feels like the divine is stripping away everything in your life that you used to trust in and rely on, and making it's like a, you know, it's a blind trust fall.
Yeah.
And so I'm in that mode right now where I'm like, okay, this is one of those sink or swim moments. The Neptune square the nodes transit can be harrowing for a person and take them out or lift them quite high. You know, it's like go up into the ethereal realm or drown. And so I'm in that not quite ethereal realm, but I'm in that prayer mode of like, I always tell, you know, my clients in readings, when you have afflicted Neptune, it's like it's time to pray. Lean away from escapism and just drop to your Neptune wants you to get so confused that you drop to your knees and pray, or you connect to something divine, even if it's the divinity in your own heart. You know, if you're not out here believing in something bigger than yourself, fine. Connect, like make it sacred, essentially.
Yeah, you're
So
scaring the shit out of me because I'm creeping up to that transit a little faster than I'm comfortable with. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? My Neptune is square my moon always, so I'm literally like, really? But it's okay. 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 Wait, so what degree is your Neptune?
my Neptune is at 28 of Sag, right next to the Galactic Center. Fun. So my South Node is at 25 Sag, and my Neptune is at 28 Sag. That's my whole raised in a cult thing. And I've got some gnarly, maybe I was a little bit of a naughty astrologer in a recent lifetime. Did some not so great things. So
Wow.
I'm going through this Neptune square, and this Mercury retrograde has happened over my South Node Neptune conjunction. So for me, it's just been a little, I don't have a word for it. It's been that. It's been taking my words away. Mm-hmm. I've been having to prepare for my readings for like an hour before each one, just so I'm sure that I'm ready. I know what to say, which normally that's, I mean, you know, I always sit down and prepare myself for a chart, but it's like double the time that I normally spend right now.
Right.
Because it's just been, blah, 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 blah. Those are all the, I have no words. So I feel like life is just asking me to get really, really quiet. And so that's this whole holiday season, I've just been like in my own little sanctuary quiet. So to have Jupiter go direct, you know, when Jupiter is such a jubilant, joyous, expansive energy, and I'm in this place of like, okay, I need to get more and more and more quiet. And with Jupiter, you know, being the ancient ruler of Pisces, where Neptune is residing right now, and you know, during my Neptune square, I'm feeling a lot of just inspiration to reconnect. I don't know if anybody out there resonates with this. If you've gone from a kind of a religious background and left that religious background, and often there's a period of like not always atheism for everybody, but definitely a disillusionment that can be really unpleasant. And, you know, I've been back in this very spiritual realm since the last time Uranus and Jupiter were conjunct back in 2010, 2011. So this time I'm feeling, I'm just, yes, a sacredness to life and to being a human and in this body, and like the supple pleasure of that. And this, like the sensuality of prayer. That's a thing for anybody out there. Prayer has gotten very delicious to me, which is a really nice resurrection of the idea of prayer.
Absolutely.
From a long diversion. Yeah,
absolutely. I also wanted to point out, because I was thinking about it, I can't remember what you said that triggered it for me, but if anyone in the chat has anything in the early degrees of Scorpio, like myself, that is being blasted by Jupiter right now. So any Scorpio area of your chart, because it's that polarity of Taurus, is getting magnified by Jupiter massively. And that can be a very, very intense energy, you know? So I would say anything between 0 and, I don't know, fucking 10 is being basically magnified to the extreme right now. So guarantee, I mean, especially that generation, what is it, 84, that has early degree Pluto too. Their Pluto is getting blasted by this Jupiter energy. So that's a little caveat to this, is like, yes, Jupiter is a benefic. Yes, this is positive, but there's probably some people going through some pretty Scorpio times right now. But and I would say that I am as well. But I think the Sag in the fields, the Sag lifts us out of the underworld of Scorpio into that really just transcendental shamanic aspect of Scorpio. So I did want to mention that. And then, I mean, I suppose we might as well mention as well that if you have anything early degrees Leo or early degrees Aquarius, your shit's getting squared by now, right now.
Moon. It's great.
Oh, your moon. Oh, that's fun.
Real fun.
So there's, you know, there's all of these nuances to that. But well, that's fascinating. That makes sense with your Neptune. The Mercury square Neptune point for me was a lot of clarifying conversations this last week. Especially those days where it really hit, like the 26th, 27th. It was a lot of like, almost like he said, she said, and what's actually the truth going on, you know, and kind of that, but you know, that was to be expected. And a lot of examining beliefs happening right now for me.
Huge. Huge.
Yeah, restructuring beliefs that I've had for a really long time and trying to integrate new information into, you know, classic Sag stuff, examining dogmas. But overall, I'm feeling the Jupiter station direct the most. And all right, why don't you, I think I'm gonna head to bed, but why don't you share, just to get another perspective for people, what, if you had to describe next year in a couple of sentences, what would you say?
Okay, first, right out the gate, the best year we've had in like a decade or two, maybe. Mm-hmm. I can't say, you know, it's all going to be like sunshine, puppy dogs, and roses. We have no fucking idea with Uranus and Jupiter conjunct. So, like, we will see. You know, it's kind of the same conversation astrologers have every year. Like, we'll find out after Aries season. Then we'll really start to feel the energy of the year. But first and foremost, really positive vibes. Yeah. Huge uplift in the energy from the last decade, especially the last few years. Mm-hmm. Beyond that, I really think that, especially because we're wrapping the year up with Mars retrograde that bleeds almost directly into Venus retrograde, and this gets into 2025, but the year feels like this huge uplift, of course, mass awakenings, and then there's this sort of like, I think it's a realization that anything's possible here. I think it's a bursting the bubble in a really great way and realizing like your bubble was keeping you enclosed and cut off from this vast universe of possibility and potential. And it feels like one of those years of realizing like, oh, I've been playing everything so small, like in every way in my life, which is why I really appreciated you talking about boundaries and like the dragon energy of boundaries as being, you don't really need to practice or enforce or speak up or what, you just kind of emanate this energy. Yeah. So I feel like that's something that a lot of people are going to be stepping into over this next year.
Absolutely, with the North Node in Aries. And yeah, I love everything you just said. I agree 1,000%. The only thing that I feel would be cool to add is just, and you did touch on it, is like with the Jupiter conjunction to Uranus, which is arguably like, if this was a movie, that is like an action packed moment for sure, like basically the whole month of April. But Uranus is fundamentally destabilizing. So there is a potential that there may be some extremely chaotic things that happen. However, Uranus is higher intelligence. Um, it's it's the intelligence. It's like the Godhead, right? And so it's like whatever. And I mean, there's pretty positive aspects happening to that conjunction. So it's like whatever chaos is happening, underlying it, there is this feeling of it tipping the scales into divine alignment in an interesting way. And the second half of 2024 is its own interesting energy, but I definitely agree that the first 6 months they feel like a Kundalini upgrade. And I don't want, like, that sounds kind of like cliche to say, but Uranus rules Kundalini energy. Uranus is awakening. So it's like Uranus is going to get plugged into a light socket and like turn the fuck on. You know what I mean? So it's like, it is a fucking Kundalini awakening. I mean, am I wrong? Like Kundalini, it's ruled by Uranus. You know what I mean? So Jupiter's going to fucking magnify that shit. So it's like, yeah, there's going to be a fucking Kundalini awakening for the fucking planet itself, which means there might be volcanoes, earthquakes, whatever, and then
Can we say it like more war? Can we say the scariest thing? Like this conjunction was present at World War I and World War II.
Exactly. 1941 was the last year that Jupiter and Uranus made conjunction in the sign of Taurus. Yeah. So that's low key. That's why I like brought that in, because it was like, that can't be ignored, that we are in a really, really intense time on this planet right now. But North Node Aries is the sign of the fucking warrior, dude. So that's why I keep saying action movie, because it's like the hero's journey. It's very like being the master of your domain and being courageous and following your inner truth and stepping fully into your full embodiment of your identity, your character, your main character. That's why I'm like that's what this is. That's why I'm so excited to talk about this year, because it's really pretty remarkable.
Oh, and I just remembered Jupiter is going to move into Gemini, mid-May, late May?
Late May.
At which point it will be trining Pluto for a good couple of
weeks. I know.
Or like a week. So,
I know.
Hey.
Yeah. So much to talk about. All right, darling. Well, I'm going to wind down.
Looking forward to your webinar. It's going to be good.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, love.
Thanks for having me.
Good night. Of course. Bye, love. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Yeah. Come to the webinar. It's going to be awesome. Email me at coyotestarastrology@gmail.com. Subject is dragon. And also, if you guys want to hear more about the quantum creating challenge and the group, I mean, it's free. It doesn't cost anything. All you do is you shoot me an email, make the subject quantum, all caps, and I'll send you all the information with the WhatsApp link and everything, and you can come join us. And yeah. All right, everyone. Have a good night.